Hey there! So today I want to talk to you about optimizing your filtration with a pre-filter sponge. I have these on nearly every aquarium that I run in my fish room, and I use them on both canister filters and hang on the back filters. If you have a power head, it can also be used on a power head. Now, Aquarium Co-op sent me these, and I'm going to be demonstrating them today because they are the exact size and brand that I use in my personal fish room and that I buy for myself. So I'm going to go over today why you might like to use a pre-filter sponge and how you would go about installing it. If you're enjoying this video from Instagram, I'd like to tell you that we're probably going to run out of time in this discussion. So I'm going to post the full video on my YouTube. So if you go to my bio link, there's a YouTube link in the link tree. And if you go over there, you'll see the full video of the pre-filter sponge and all of the details. If you'd like to buy the product, I'm also going to have affiliate links to the product in both my bio and the description of this video. So why use a pre-filter sponge is the first question you might be asking. If you're anything like me, you've run aquariums for a long time and maybe you haven't used a pre-filter sponge. I didn't use them for literally decades and I lived without them just fine, but I would constantly make little workarounds to do the things that a pre-filter sponge does, and they were often ugly DIY solutions. So the first reason I use one of these pre-filter sponges is it keeps fish, fry, snails, and also shrimp out of the intake of your filter. You don't want to run those guys through the impeller, and I find that it's much safer for your fish, your fry, and your shrimp if you have a pre-filter on your intake. Now, another reason is this is going to diffuse the flow into the filter. So it's going to help from, if you have fry, say guppy fry, they're kind of like medium-sized fry, they're not going to be as drawn into the current, so it's going to be a lot safer for them. Another reason is this is going to keep food out of the back of your aquarium. So if you feed food and you've ever seen it get sucked into the intake, this is going to catch that food and give it a second chance at being eaten by one of the fish. I often see my Corydoras checking these pores. I see shrimp and I see snails feasting on the intake sponges because that's where the food lives. So this is going to keep it out of the back of your filter where it's just going to rot and go to waste. So I like that second chance opportunity at a meal for your fish. Third, I like keeping large debris out of the inside of my filter, which is going to give it a longer time in between cleanings. So if you have a, say, FX4, a Fluval FX4, that's maybe a little bit bulky, hard to get to the sink or the backyard, and you're just kind of like tired of cleaning it all the time, this is going to extend the time in between cleanings of that filter, and you would simply squeeze this out during your aquarium cleanings in between cleanings of the filter. So I might clean this once every 2 weeks, and I might clean my Fluval FX4 monthly or every 3 months. It depends on what kind of aquarist you are. That's up to you. But this is going to extend the time in between cleaning that main media in your filter. Also, this is going to add not just mechanical filtration to catch particles, but it's also going to add biological filtration. So this porous sponge is going to become a home for beneficial bacteria once it gets going in your aquarium. So this is going to aid you in your nitrogen cycle, and it's going to add surface area to your beneficial bacteria, which is going to allow you to increase your load if you're interested in doing that. So this is going to increase the amount of beneficial bacteria you have in your aquarium without adding another filter. So this is kind of like a half a filter in its own right. Now, how to use this? These are super simple to use. They're very affordable and they just attach so easily. So So if you have a hang on the back, we'll demonstrate on this Fluval, this is a Marineland 100, BioWheel 100, and I have it kind of all pulled apart so you can see it. Now, this is the intake. I would take off this basket, and you can simply slip the sponge over the intake. Now, that's the wrong size sponge. Let's get a medium sponge on here, because this sponge is really gonna hold. So you can see I just slipped it on, and it just held on tight right there. If you find your sponge is very loose, like this guy here is very loose and it doesn't fit, that means either you need to choose a different size, or you can put an O-ring or zip tie around this intake. If you need any help doing that, shoot me a DM or leave a question in the comments. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna select a size of the pre-filter. All of them are going to be linked once again in my bio and also in the description. So you're going to select a size. There's mini, medium, and large. They have different hole sizes in the center. So the medium and the mini have the same hole size, which is approximately 1/2 inch. And I believe this large is 1 1/4 inch diameter. So this is going to fit your larger filters. I use this on my FX4. I use this on my 407, my 406, my 306, my 307. So I use this on my Fluval canisters, but I also use it on my large Marineland hang on the back filters, like my Penguin 350. So this is going to be useful on a lot of bigger filters. You'll see that these two guys, the medium and the mini, are going to be useful on smaller filters. There isn't like a recommended gallons for these. It more goes by the size of the intake tube right here. So if you have a smaller intake, you would probably use the medium or the mini. A bigger intake, you're going to use this guy, which is the large. Now, after you have selected a size, the best thing to do is to just do a dry fit to test it. So this one's very loose, that's not gonna work out, so that's not a fit. But the medium just slides on there nice and snug. It's super cozy, it doesn't fall off, so that's a perfect fit. You'll want to just push the intake in about 1 inch, because you wanna have as much sponge below the intake as possible, so you're really getting flow through it and utilizing all that sponge material. You don't want to take a pre-filter and shove it way up there, because it's not going to give you as much surface area flowing, as much flow through the surface area. You're only going to be using like half of your filtration, available filtration. So make sure you put the intake just about 1 inch down into that center hole. The first thing I'm going to do when I'm ready after my test fit is I'm going to rinse this in some tap water. It's fine to rinse it in tap water even if it's chlorinated the first time, because it doesn't have beneficial bacteria living on it yet. But once you do have a beneficial bacteria colony established, when you need to clean this, I suggest wringing it out in a bucket of old aquarium water. So when I siphon all my water out with my Python, it goes into a 5-gallon bucket. I then remove this pre-filter sponge. I just grab mine and throw it into the bucket in one swoop. Some people prefer to take a plastic baggie, put it around, then disconnect so that none of the debris comes out of it. So you can do it either way. You can just grab and pull, or you can put a bag around it to keep that mulm and debris in it so it doesn't fog up your tank. I'm kind of a lazy fish keeper and I go super fast, so I just throw it into the bucket as fast as I can. So once this has beneficial bacteria growing on it, you're gonna wanna rinse it in tank water or dechlorinated water to clean it. You don't wanna kill your beneficial bacteria on here. That's a sad thing. Also, I do recommend, if you have your filter, whether it's a hang-on back filter or a canister filter, and your pre-filter, that you clean them on different days, so you're not like accidentally eradicating all of your bacteria if something happens, like you use chlorinated water. So I would recommend, maybe you do this 1 week and this another week, or this at the beginning of the month and this at the end of the month, depending on how often you need to clean. But I would break that up. If I have 2 filters on a tank, I never clean both filters on the same cleaning. I rotate them just to make sure I always have that live beneficial bacteria. If for some reason you crash your beneficial bacteria cycle and you need beneficial bacteria, I highly recommend having Fritz Turbo Start or Fritz Zyme 7 on hand, because you can just dose that bacteria to get it started again, which is what I do if I find I start producing ammonia randomly in an established aquarium. So using this, first thing, choose your correct size. If you need help choosing the correct size, the best thing to do is to go to the link in my bio, go to the pre-filters on Aquarium Co-op's website. They have a chart. So that chart is going to tell you the main filters and which size pre-filter corresponds with them. So the majority of all the filters on the market are going to be on there. If you have a question about sizing, feel free to leave a comment in the comments below and I'll try and help you select the appropriate size. So first select a size, then do a test fit. Third, you're going to rinse, and then next you're going to install it. Now the best way to install after you've done a test fit is to just slip it on while this is already in the tank. If this is too loose, you can always go back and add a plastic O-ring or rubberized O-ring to this intake, or you can add a zip tie with the little nub. Just cut off the tail of the zip tie and the nub will help hold on that pre-filter. So if I wanted to use a larger pre-filter on this smaller hang on the back, I would simply put a zip tie around this intake and then it would stick right on there. Now, why do I like to use the Aquarium Co-op brand? That is another subject. Now, the Aquarium Co-op brand of the pre-filter sponge has a very coarse sponge to it. And the other sponges that I've ordered in the past have had a finer sponge to the degree that it clogs very rapidly. I don't like to have to do aquarium maintenance daily or midweek. I'd like these to be able to go for several days or at least a week without having to service it. So I like that this coarse porosity seems to be the perfect number of pores per inch to last, but still block the large debris. So I love the pore size, and I also love the durability of these. So this is very durable. I've washed some of these for like a year and they have not fallen apart yet. I don't know how long they last. I can't tell you. It's going to probably depend on usage, but I have some of these that have been going for at least a year and they're still going strong. So they're very, very durable. Also, I like that this has simply one hole. Instead of a hole that goes all the way through the core of the cylinder, because if this was open here, I would actually have to cinch it with a zip tie. And I don't like having to do that. 1, because it's an extra step. 2, because it's ugly. And 3, it's just ugly. So I prefer to have a closed end for a pre-filter usage. The last thing that I wanted to mention is these come in 3 sizes that you can customize based on how much filtration you want. So you can do a large on a smaller filter, and you can just add that O-ring or that zip tie on the inside. So I like that they have multiple options for multiple filters, but you don't have to necessarily use the exact size that corresponds with your aquarium. In fact, I use the large on my smaller filters just to give more space and more beneficial bacteria housing. So you can check out the Aquarium Co-op via the affiliate links that are in my bio, and you can purchase these aquarium pre-filter sponges, which come in large, medium, and mini. Or you can also head over to the Aquarium Co-op YouTube page to sign up first. So before you A membership is not required to buy at the co-op, but if you would like to become a co-op member, you can save 5% off of your total order every time you shop. It's not a one-time discount, it's for the term of your membership. So if you buy a YouTube membership to the Aquarium Co-op, you can watch their members only videos, but you can also get 5% off on as many orders as you place. So whether you're spending $50 or $500, it's 5% off your order. And then click on my link in the affiliate bio, in the affiliate link in my bio, because you can get that discount too. So check that out. The Aquarium Co-op, which I've been a member of myself for over 6 months now, has amazing benefits for their members, including members only talks. So in April, they're actually going to have Dr. A from the Ark of Peru, that's the Amazon Research Center of Peru, come on and discuss the ornamental fishes research that he does in the Amazon. So that's going to be a really cool talk. Only members may attend, so check out the membership too. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM or leave a message below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.